especially in the modern times when everything is almost unavoidably materialistic in nature. So we were talking about material memory yesterday. And look at the variety and panorama of discussion from materialism to immaterialism and to the Turiya. So everything we find around us is materialistic in nature, apparently, of course, leading only to stark capitalistic tendencies that the human mind can seldom shirk away from. In the mire and confusion of everyday life, the only faculty that remains in the dark, and that is where the success of this conference lies, because this faculty that more often than not remains in the dark, or at least very often is dangerously threatened to, is that of thinking. We were talking about those three levels, Professor Mishra, I think, was saying yesterday: thinking, seeing, and acting. So, at any rate, so the only faculty, as I was saying, that remains in the dark, or at least very often is dangerously threatened to, is that of thinking. An act that, in its intenser sense, can be considered, in turn, to be an act of philosophizing. The reality of this fact is that human beings are potential thinkers, but not all are actually so. Hence, thinking is an action that is made possible by a deeper seeing into things. Darshana, probably, you see, it is more of action than just mere philosophizing to me. So, seeing into things, objects, and circumstances of life that is, or the life that is lived every moment. This seeing into demands, in turn, a deeper perspicacity that gives birth to resounding questions about the truth of existence, both of man and the world. This threefold pursuance of truth, that is thinking, seeing, questioning, is an endless process that sometimes, I draw inspiration from the previous conversation that took place, seeing, questioning, but before that thinking. And this entire process is endless in nature, and that sometimes baffles the engaged mind and causes it to rise above the considerations of the material world, which only emerges as a secondary form of truth to it.
All the philosophy is actually Shushka Gyan. So we have to move from Shushka Gyan, we begin with the Shushka Gyan to move into Divya Gyan, and then when we attain that hetery, then there is no need for speech, because you don't want to talk about your experience either. Either it has to be permeated by the guru to the disciple through the semiotics of language beyond words, or it cannot be transferred. So it's an energy to be transferred, it is not to be spoken in words, not to be described. And it is up to the disciple to grasp what is given to him. According to the container, the energy is contained. Okay? So, once entering the Guru Rajya, this Divya Gyan is visualized as a whole. And so the universe seems to be floating on the center of one Aham. Everything is floating because we are in the vibrational plane of energy. Our body is made of light, basically. So, Skandakarika. So, we become part of that. We become part of, we understand that we are part of the vibration, that vibratory energy around us, and the sound and energy and light, everything becomes one. So, we become part of that. Okay, so that you totally visualize when you step into Guru Rajya. We have the semblance of that when we are doing a sadhana, but we are not there.
Therefore, speak from that point of view. And here, for difference, the narrative will be mostly personal narrative. Since the consciousness figures in a big way, the personal narrative will be, I felt, it will be the right kind of a text, right kind of a narrative for presentation. And that is why I am here talking about memory, talking about consciousness, etc., as we find in the partition narratives. When I say partition narratives, I do not always mean the published fictions like novels or short stories. I also mean the oral narratives. And here, the oral narratives, since I will be speaking for about 30-40 minutes, I will not go for the well-known texts.
It's different from merging and this kind of merger.
Yes,
And
even
the kind you're talking.
exactly, getting the point. Even there, you see the like all the commentaries on the agamic texts, or rather the agamic discourses. They even refer to the Upanishads only when they come to this point of the Turyatita or the merging thing.
Right.
Because when the Shvetashveta Upanishad says Parasya Shakti Vivedaiva Sriyate Svabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha, that is again acknowledging the dynamic aspect, or Devatma Shakti Sagune Nigudam. So once that aspect, like they trace back this element to the Upanishads only.
Right. So Turiyatita places her in that limitlessness.
In the limitlessness. And even like the Kathopanishad, I suppose, Tadayati Tanne Jati, it moves and it does not move.
Yes.
Simultaneously moves. So that's rooted in the Upanishads only, and they refer it back to the Upanishads.
I think Yama also says something like this to Nachiketa and his,
Exactly, exactly. It's a Kathopanishad.